834-529-8340.
Boost your brand's visibility with Branding by Weeks. At Branding by Weeks, we are passionate about helping brands gain exposure and make a significant impact. Let us elevate your brand's visibility and reach new heights. Connect with us today by email at spweeks@hotmail.com or message us on WhatsApp 613-866-8939.
It's the Vin Abbott Show with news, views, and interviews. The music in the mix on Saturdays, 4 p.m. Kankadi Radio.
Thank you.
Hi friends, what's happening in your corner? Be it a group meeting, a sporting activity, a community activity, some upcoming event. Whatever the happening in your corner, let us know. We'll share it on Kankadi Radio. So email us at kankadi.radio@gmail.com. That's CANCARDI.radio@gmail.com. We are in your corner.
Island Style Souvenir and Clothing Store. We carry everything you need in souvenirs. T-shirts in all different sizes, cap, keychains, key rings, plaques and banners, magnets, ID holders, mugs, and we even carry St. Vincent flag. And that's not all. We carry Hawaiian style t-shirts and dresses, handbags with matching scarves. We also carry tie-dye dresses, shirts and tops. Everything in our store are made right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So come on over and check us out. We are located at the cruise ship berth in Kingston, Island Style.
Join your host, Rasta Bishi, for Stepping into the Light at Bihil Online Radio and Kankadi Radio. Rasta Bishi steps into the light of food and agriculture, culture and liberty. Stepping into the light lifts the level of your self-consciousness, activates your collective security genetic code, raises your earthly vibrations. To win in this Armageddon, you must listen to Stepping into the Light with host Rasta Bishi.
Greetings, welcome to the 8th program of Stepping into the Light with your host Rasta Bishi at Bihil Radio in Vincent Grenadines. It links to Kankadi Radio in Canada and Fun City Radio in New York. Tuesday, 1st October 2024. Get in a slide feed, please. Slide feed. Yes, that was the theme song Exodus. And you know when you hear that song, is the time to link all your family, friends, and loved ones. Still getting a feedback. And invite them to this program tonight. Let us give some praises to the Most High Creator. Yeah, see if you could do something with that feedback for me, please. And respect our ancestors. Beautiful. Isis. Almighty Creator of the universe, I give thanks for your love, your care, and your guidance throughout the time, and for bringing I here for another program. Keep shining thy light into I path, as I go stepping into the light and onto Mount Zion. Blessed be the high rates of His and Her Imperial Majesty, Haile Selassie and Empress Menen. One perfect balance. Blessed be the high rates of I ancestors in Neteru, which walk alongside I always, keeping I feet from slipping and falling, I hands from mischief and stealing, and I mouth from slander and idle speaking. And I call on the goddess Mat and the 42 divine ones from creation. Keep I people firmly on the 7 basic principles of truth, order, balance, harmony, law, morality, and justice. Give I life over death, light over darkness, mind over matter, and good over evil every time. Ashe. Yes, people, and I hear again, yes. And we always love to give thanks to the owners and operators of Bihil Radio, those of Tankari Radio and those of Fun City Radio, New York, as well as the sponsors of this program. And of course, just with that much love to you, the listeners who make this program a reality. Yes, tonight we're going to have a very, very, very interesting program. We always have interesting programs, but this one poses to be special. We have a special guest who I'll be telling you about in a while. And as usual, before we do that, I give you what we're going to reason about tonight, the different happenings and so on. And then after that, I will bring our guest in. So what are the happenings? Well, food prices continue to rise in this country, especially imported food prices. We saw a poster a couple of days ago where an imported pack of 4 oranges was being sold retail in a supermarket, a leading supermarket, for $23.88. Okay? For a lot of people, that is more than 50% of their day pay. Lot of people. Okay. So, local food also, prices are going up. I'm glad that I'm seeing some local citrus on the market now. Couple grapefruit and oranges are emerging. Still haven't seen any limes or anyway. And we've seen a few lemons. That's something we're going to talk about in another program. How we get those to come to abundance again. We hear from the Minister of Agriculture, Food, Forestry, Fisheries, that local fish landings and local fish stocks are declining to the level where he is suggesting that we might have to import fish. Well, that should really say more fish, because we have been always importing fish. We have been importing fish in different forms and different packages, from fresh fish to salted fish to fish in brine, fish products, to the tune of over $6 million a year for quite a long time. $6 million a year. So when he said import more fish, he's speaking about fresh fish. And that is something we will get into a little deeper later in the program, because that sounds so twisty-twirly, to use a kind of phrase, you know. We're going to talk about that a bit. He says that more than 50% of the fish stalls at the New Kingston Fish Market are empty on a daily basis. Okay? We have at the same time farmers who, well, all farmers suffered, as far as I know, suffered damage, some state of damage in the last 9 months of the year. One, during the unusually dry season, a very hot dry season we had. And secondly, in that hot summer, we just had hurricane season due to that freak storm, that geoengineered storm that caused a lot of damage to the agricultural sector on the mainland in particular. But farmers now are receiving vouchers for inputs, which in itself is a good thing, although it has a lot more organizational capacity to develop. But the idea of voucher is a good thing. But just the idea alone, the fleshing out of the idea is where right now the system is very short. We're going to be looking into some of that later. Okay? So farmers who suffered from Hurricane Beryl and from the dry season, they are getting vouchers now to go and collect inputs, specifically at the input shed down opposite at Randy Gas supermarket down at Lower Rose Place, down in that area there, bottom tongue as we say. We're going to be here also hearing about the biodynamic gardening, planting by the moon phase guide. You're going to get that for the period. Wednesday, the 2nd October, that's the next day. Tuesday, 8th October, next Tuesday, 2024. We're going to be going into that and keep going into it every week until we get a lot of farmers and listeners getting it like second nature, where they know exactly in this phase, this is what they're supposed to do. Because when you get to grow food in a certain way, the food becomes medicine and the medicine heals. So we are healing people. I don't want to give away too much of my guests tonight, but that is where we're going. Okay? Of course, I said we have a special guest, herbal medical specialist, who will come on in a short while. Okay? And the main reasoning after the break, after we finish, when we come forward after the break and after our guests, would be fast in action by private sector and indigenous sectors. Fast is the food and agricultural systems transformation. Okay? We, as I said in the program subsequently, program before this one, is that we the people are putting this thing in action. We're not waiting for the government, the state to do it. We are the government now who is putting this in action. What we be calling the state to do is to step up and do their part so that they can facilitate the real people putting this in action. The food and agriculture systems transformation, which must take place if we are going to move out of the darkness and into the light in this country. And we are going to do that. That is what this program is about. Stepping into the light. Okay? So, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to ask my technical people to bring my guest in. Ask my guest to introduce herself. Well, now you know it's a her. Okay? One of us balancing in the house tonight. And we take it from there. So, I want you to listen carefully because I tell you this is going to be fascinating. So over to you, our technical operator. Good night, good night.
Greetings, good night.
Good night, sister. Yeah, sister Dr. Herbalist Nutrition Selassie. Yes, you're here live and direct, and you know that you're speaking globally on this radio station. So it's connected all over, you know. So basically what I want you to do in the first part is just, you know, say who you are, what you do, and a bit of, well, why you do, as briefly as possible.
Okay, greetings,
Yes.
everyone. Yeah, greetings, everyone. Brethren, sisters, the youths, the loved ones, everyone. A blessed night, a great night to all. Yes, well, as Brother Bishi has rightfully said, it's gonna be a quite interesting program tonight because my duty and my work, as much I know, is to bring the knowledge and as much as I can to the people as to how we can make a change in today's world, seeing what we are seeing, based on what we are facing. A lot of temptations, a lot of things in the way, blockages, but with the knowledge imparted, we can make a change, great changes too. And that's why I'm here. I'm here to bring about changes, as you know, and I'm very thankful for the opportunity to be doing this for the many, right? So as you know, as I said, yeah, give thanks again for bringing me in on this program. I really appreciate the opportunity. Yes, so as I can say here again, I Chichen Selassie first. I think a lot of people in the land, all over Vinci, and throughout the world, I would say, will have a chance to meet me on the road somewhere along the way and know my work here. One that's very natural, very connected to nature, in the true sense. Not just talk the talk, but walk the walk, live the life. And it has been an inspiration to me, a great inspiration, connecting to nature in a way where nature revealed and has been revealed and continue to reveal great info and insights as to how we can utilize our natural resources for many, 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 many benefits. Many health wise, number one, which without good health, we ain't going away. We know that. They say back then, and the older people would have said back then, your health really and truly is your wealth. Because if you don't have good health, you can't do much. And we all know that if your health is out, if you're not feeling good, there's not much you can put out. You understand? So, yeah, give thanks again, Bishai. This is what we are, and we're about. This is the mission here to help to bring the knowledge, as I said, to the people, showing and letting them know that we have a great abundance of natural resources in our land that we can utilize to bring our health, bring about changes health-wise. And that's why I'm here in this land where presently, I guess the ancestors have brought me from far. Though I was here, I was born here, grew up here. I had an opportunity to go away at a young age. And also where I learned a lot of things through my experience over there as well. It was this same thing that I'm doing with here, natural herb, healing and health. So we give thanks, I say, to the creators, the ancestors for this time. Give thanks for the Bishai.
Yes, I respect. Now, sisterin, that's lovely. And I show that our listeners are full joy themselves with what the information you just said. Now, as someone who I know and the people know have been walking, actually treading the entire road of Kingston for the and the Grenadines for the last several years, right?
Yes.
Tell the audience here, what have you seen what has Itrishan seen concerning the health of the people in this country, which inspired the eye to keep going on?
Well, I've seen a lot. I've seen a lot in my time. Since returning to St. Vincent, I've returned here since 2008. I returned to St. Vincent. And I realized upon my return, I was connected right away. Even before coming here, but I was connected by the love, the energy, and the charge of our ancestors. When I went away as a youngster, 15 years old from this land, I did not know fully. I did not have that full understanding as to what was really happening. I was still a youngster, just searching for myself. And I realized leaving St. Vincent at that tender age and going into Babylon. I was in Canada, Greater Babylon, inside of there without parents, loved ones, going into family members. But I would say loved ones, the parent, love of a mother, father, protection of a mother and father. I wasn't there as a youngster. I stepped into Babylon, the heart of Babylon. And through my experience, I've learned that even though I was alone and did not have that guidance from mother and father, I was always connected and guided by the ancestors. Or they never leave and I never left. I would have had my experience, with my own mindset, challenged things like any other youth, gone through my experience, different friends, different areas, different people, many different nations. As you know, Canada is a multicultural, so I get to meet many people from all over the world. And I was usually and always a one to, when I link with anyone that I link with a genuine energy and natural vibration, seeing anyone, as I say, as a reflection of myself, because I dwell in this way that I don't play. I don't play with the love that I carry. I appreciate the love that I have because it's a natural, divine love and it's a connection to everything living. So when I connect to anyone, even if it's the homeless, I give an energy that is natural, which is a connection. I look at the homeless, I look at whoever, with my eyes, my two eyes, but there's an inner, which is the first eye, my spiritual eye, that will reveal to me many things in that and around that one. So yes, I continue to learn each and every day, just within my environment. Life itself is teaching me and will continue to teach me. So as you asked me that question, what have I seen and picked up on? I have, through, as I said, through my own experience, my own vibration, connection with one. When I came here, I myself was seeking healing. But when I landed down, and I touched down on the land, I realized I said, nah, different energy, different awakening. I looked down, I connected. When I look around, I saw I was in paradise. I saw everything living, light, green. I said, well, this is something else for me. But when I looked around, I saw a lot of ones with eyes hopeless. And I saw where I was coming from. I saw a lot of similarities with the food. I saw a lot of food. So I said, well, little Vincy came a far way, but me, the way that she's stepping is more like into what I am stepping away from, because now I see all these different things food wise, unhealthy drinks, a lot of sodas, a lot of this, a lot of that. I start seeing a lot of things pop up, a lot of, artificial stuff, I will call it, rather than what I was used to, the local food all over the place. The bananas that I was used to, the plantain, the this, the that, in the abundance. I wasn't seeing that. So I was looking at, she's taking on a different face. She's showing herself differently. And based on the fact that I was coming out of that energy, looking into this natural way, which I know my country from the beginning, you know me, is always about the natural way. The natural people connecting to the earth, the farmers, the humble people planting here and there. As a child, I remember growing up with our roots, rolling in our roots, with bananas dropping off by me steps in the abundance. Remember little friends running for food. The chuck is too much in the land. You gotta give the people, give it away. But we have the natural resources in the abundance, and we have the farmers in them feeling more connected to nature, mind at peace. There wasn't that stressors, not more natural food. People have a different vibration. As I said, when I came here this time, when I stepped in, I realized there was a different energy. And I realized due to the fact that there was so much artificial, and I say sugary, a lot of stuff that can actually harm the people for presenting itself. I see that, I saw. And not just looking and seeing that, I continued my journey now with my healing, continue to exercise, connect to nature, connect to the people as I got here. And I realized that, you know what, I'm going to make this move into, as I say, another level, because I realized that as I came here, I realized all of the resources that was here naturally for me. I had the Cedar River, I had the sunshine, I had the plants, I had herbs, I had everything around me. So you know what I said, let me just get myself, stable, connect myself to nature. And as I start connecting, it has led me right up to this point where I recognize and give honor unto every living being, creature, plant upon this land, you and me. For I've found many friends in the plant world. They say when you connect to the plants actually have a spiritual body, as I have one too. We have a spiritual body, and the herbs and nature, the ancestors spoken to me and show me a whole new world, whole new understanding, a whole new connection. You show me the abundance of healing all around us, all in front under my feet, in front of my door. There's things here that we walk upon that cost so much in the outer world. People pay for that. They pay the money for that. They pay, they can't get it like that. We have the abundance of herb. We have so much source of trees and out on different parts of the world. They pay for that. They pay whatever money they get to get some of that. So I say, let us not be like foolish as the Bible say, in the abundance of water, a fool is thirsty. We can never be thirsty here. We have too much of healing plants, natural, fertile soil, natural rain, sunshine. We have it all here. We have it all here to make a good change and be all healthy and near me. So as I said on my journey, I see where everything is here in the abundance and I take it up and was willing enough to say, you know what, I'm going to put it all in because when I put it in and when I take it in, I'm going to bring it out. So this is what nature's been giving me over the years, great understanding as to how to connect, as to how I should eat consciously and eat what is grown from the land. Just taught me to utilize the natural herbal plants, medicinal plants that are around to correct any illnesses that would have been with me at that time and to guide me and to strengthen me on my journey of healing. And we have a lot. There's a plaster for every for every soul in Vinci when it comes into sickness, So I'm telling you, connecting home, connected to the land here, and my ancestors has done great for me. And not only for me, it has been using the energy that it has given me to give back and to bring power to my people. And I feel very happy doing that. As one can see and who know me know, it's a genuine effort that I put out there. Very genuine because the way that nature revealed herself to me and has given me so much, I said, nah, this could never be for me alone. I gotta put it out. I gotta do this with everything. I gotta reach not only here, but I gotta reach out to the whole earth, all over the earth, the whole world, and let this energy, this is stepping into the light, and let this light shine. Let this little light shine from you and me. Shine as bright as it lights up the whole universe. Connect. Yeah. So yeah, Bishai, I'm loving
Yes.
every of it. That love is key. Love is without love, there's nothing really happening. If you don't have love and divine love, love that is kind, love that is true, if you don't have that, then you ain't nowhere yet. Because when you love and you realize what love is and you truly start loving self, then oh my goodness, the love for self will flow right out and touch everyone else. Because when you look at the living things itself, everything becomes myself. The water is myself. The fire is me. I'm light. And I
Beautiful.
realize it's so beautiful. I'm saying, brother, it's so beautiful. So I just say, man, what I recognize all people is, a lot of them right now, very unhealthy. And I can tell it's just been ill-disciplined because it's like I said, it's myself. When I see my people, I recognize where I'm coming from. When I see the people in whichever way, maybe obese, arthritis, whatever you want to call it, I recognize that they're very much inflamed based on the fact that they're eating a lot of fake food. I would call it man-made food. A lot of hybrid. You want to call it. No, they're not really keeping it original. So that's the only reason why too. We can say we can't really blame anyone for what is really happening too much. Yeah, there's a percentage of blame that will go to the one who uphold it, but the ones who directly partake, if we don't partake in certain things, it will be less of it. So we have a lot of unhealthy foods here because the people partake of it. So therefore we can't blame the people who are selling and trying to do the business, who's trying to keep up and do what they do. But we the people should be wise enough to know that if we are people and we say that we love life, we're gonna put things of life in our system. So even if the bad stuff comes in to the land and we the people don't go with that, we'll just have to take that back. But if you say keep coming in and coming back and filling the shelves and emptying, then we the people say they want that. It's we the people. So we can't really blame anyone for what is happening. Really and truly where we see the people sick, I say, well, they had to be in ignorance somewhere along the way. Because if we don't eat consciously, There's the energy that's gonna make us eat ignorantly, and when we finish, I say habits, addictions, all these things they just slide in. So to me, we gotta be able to eat consciously. When you eat consciously, you're gonna eat things of nature, and you're gonna eat the natural resources, things from nature that's being provided for you and that are there for you. Yeah. So therefore, we will, rather than be seeking cure, we should have known and should know that we should be preventing. And the way in which we eat and the things that we put into our bodies, it will definitely, prevent and protect us from even seeking the cures. So yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Well said. Can't find anybody else who could have said it the way you say it here. You could see that the work
Yes, sir.
is the eye and the eye is the work. You know?
Yes, sir.
With the
And then
guidance from the positive force. Right. Can't
true.
separate the two.
No.
Now, what I'm going to ask you to explain to I and the people in just like how you explain in your own self ways, right? Through the trod, especially in the recent, say the last 3-4 years, right? Past 3-4 years. What are the major, you have seen a growth in the business you do, of greater demand. There's no doubt about that. The little time I've been chatting with you, I see that, okay?
Definitely.
Right. Now, when you have the growth, it means it take more demand, it make more demand than the eye to come with more medicines, different, a broader spectrum and larger quantities. What have been the main challenges, what are the main challenges facing Nature's Way, which is the name of the eye brand right now, from expanding?
Well,
And
I was
how we see we could overcome them, because this is the time we have to overcome challenges.
yes, well, for me, it has been, I've been working with what I have available to me, and I use, as I said, there's a lot of natural herbs here that you can utilize to fight almost any disease, any sickness. But there's some that you can directly like get right now. I think they're a bit shortage. That probably they were harvested so much that you will find less of that around. So some of the herbs, definitely, I will have to send to different lands. Like I have a connection in brother there in Ghana. For him, he's a herbalist here, and his mom, his dad, the one was with herbalism as well, natural healing. And I had he himself suggested to me some herbs that I wouldn't be able to find here, but told me that he will work on sending some. He actually sent a small portion for me. There's a nut that he called a bitter kola nut. It's very bitter, but when you put that in your system, it helps to clean the liver in your whole system. It gives you a lot of energy, because I had a chance to try it myself. So the bitter kola nut, that is from Ghana, and a few other herbs that he sent me from there. Very powerful. So connection like that, which is now I have connection, but as I said, funding. Funding is very important right now. Whatever little funding we get, we can get more herbs, and I'll be able to get more utilities too, because I need more utilities as well because of the increase. I now have a greater, demand now, and this demand is not just me demanding a nature way growing. Nature is healing. When I see the demand, is the demand for me to do my healing, because when I connect with anyone, most people know me out there that I've dealt with, that they're gonna see results. If you come to me and you say, Aichishan, can you do this? I want this done. And I look at you in your eyes and say, I'm gonna do that. Confidently. It's done.
Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
So
Now,
funding is the biggest thing right now. If we get funding to get certain things up and going right now, we will make the whole sentence and again these, I say, you and me, great and healthy again, because we need to put up more knowledge, um, flyers, whatever I can do, however I have the, 1 or 2 great sisters and brethren around on board right now too, so we can come together in different ways, be able to print and be able to start pushing different knowledge out there for the people, and holding set having outings where you can connect with the people them directly more and show them like certain foods that are actually information. From you put it in, it's information. You eat that's information, and you can prove that. A lot of food are acidic in nature. You gotta know what food is alkaline food, and acid. A lot of people don't know that. And they don't know how to combine the food properly and all that, which will still create acid inside of you again. So if you don't know exactly, if you don't know, you just don't know. And it's time for knowledge, it's out there. It's time for you to open yourself in a great way and to accept, the truth a bit more, much more, so we can make a great change and be healthy beings and connect in every way, without having that mindset, which is you eat to live. You understand? You don't just live to just eat everything. You eat, to live, not just live to eat. So you have to know what to put it into your bodies. When you're eating, eating is a art. You just don't put in things because you're feeling hungry. Feeling of hunger is there. Sometimes the feeling of hunger doesn't want you to feel it, They want you to hold. And sometimes it's the stomach way of saying, I need rest. I need rest. I'm coming back to my natural self after being stretched all day because you continue to pack me up. You're not giving me rest. The organ's not resting. But there's a continuous eating, binging with the people. And I look at that. So, as I said, time, and experience. I'm looking at our people and I'm seeing what they're doing. I'm seeing the mistakes because I was once making them too. So that's why I have a connection to the people, not just to come at them in a certain way and feel a certain way. I don't pressure people like that. I just want the people to rise up and to know that, we can do this. It ain't hard. It's just a discipline of the mind. And for us to put away a lot of food, that's not good. It's not good. A lot of food that I see on the shelf out there in some of the supermarket is banned in different parts. Why is it on the market? Why is it on the market? It's banned. And I know the stuff in there. It's no good. It's harmful. Because I won't give myself it and I don't give my children certain things. As you know, I have young children and they all are plant-based. They might have the little chance sometimes as children, I see them with the little neighbor children sometimes and try to put in a little can. It's children, but I will tell them and I'll explain to them. I say, you know better because when you came here and displayed, you already knew what to do as a child. 2, 1, you showed me. So now that you're going around the other little children in the neighborhood, don't lose yourself, son. You're here to teach the children. Don't do that. So even my children, sometimes they get tempted and they will come and say, yes, I tried this and I realize this is what you're saying to me, mama. It doesn't work. It's affect me. That's what you say. I won't do that again. You're right. So as I said, even the children, I just don't do this thing. I live this life and I try to even bring my children and whoever is around me and I always push ones to say, make healthier choices. Do it now, do it today. So tomorrow you have a better day. There's choices and be careful how you choose because if you choose, you're going to choose what is best for you because you say you love you. You understand? So let me discipline the mind and try to come as Christ. I say Christ, a lot of people in the land. I say the Christians, we have a lot of different religions and in the land, religious bodies. And I always watch this too because I'm saying a lot of our people who go to church, I usually wonder why the church have so much sick people in there. And the pastor is there every Sunday. But Christ, he said, because he's coming, he's spreading the message of Christ. Christ mastered himself. He was master. So pastor, I'm not just in the pastors in the land. Why are so much of the people sick in the churches and all they do is cry and ask? For me, the way that I'm connected to nature, I'm given the answer to make it happen. Because it's truth. It's direct. If there's nobody between me and God, as you want to say, there's no energy. I connect directly to the energy source. Because everything around me is life and living. I'm here, present. I don't have to wait. The ancestors reveal everything. May take a little time because you don't rush because time is always there. Maybe I'm in flesh right now and time is here. Even when I'm gone, time will still be. So time is forever. So we don't worry ourselves about nothing. Cause worry again, when you say worry and stress, these things are disease. Just the word stress and worry. But you know, even in the scriptures, it say, Christ said, let not your heart be worried. That's why I ask the question, why are you worrying still? Why? Why worry? When everything there before you. And I say, I challenge the pastors here, not for you, pastors. People, careful what you're doing with the people in the land, our people. Give them the truth and let them know what's going on. Let them know the herbs right around the house and heal them and help them. Teach these things in the church. We can't be going through the same thing over and over for much years. We saw man just stay talking and teaching, and wherever you teach it, a lot of the people are learning. I could say this bold tonight. They're not learning anything, nothing is going in. There's a lot of sick people. And no matter what we gain or what we get, without the health, there's no wealth. All them things is material. But we want true wealth, and true wealth is when you feel strong. When you know in your heart and your soul and your strong energy, you feel connected. You don't have no pain, no aches. And if we get pain, this is what we're trying to do, get rid of it. We try to heal. We don't hold on to pain. We don't want nothing to take all the rest of our lives in our bodies to say we're going to be combating disease. Combating disease. Disease. It's making us uneasy. We better find the root problem. What's causing that? When we find out what is causing it, try to get rid of it. Remove that. As if something causing it, I have to put it aside and get rid of that and find some different things, different alternatives. And one thing we know, we ain't short of, we're in short of nothing. Nothing is short. We're not short of anything here. Everything is here. Mm-hmm.
Now I'm gonna remind you of an incident which took place on, I call it a very unfortunate and system stupid incident that took place several weeks ago, over a month ago, involving the eye, right? Now for people who don't know, tell us first of all where you operate from in the town.
Okay. Well, for me, I had a market space at the central market of town across from Secret Grave. I had a stall there in the back. I think it's number 32 in the back. I was there for a bit, a while. I was operating on the table. Yeah, right? You know, I had my stuff out and everything, but a lot of the people here, a lot of them are caught up, right? And I try to reach a lot of them. A lot of them are at work, here, there. Sometimes they can't make it. I make it the extra effort. I make the extra effort to meet them, to go to their workplaces and to deliver. So enough of the time I could be at the market because I would have to move. So I decided, you know what? I will just store my stuff there. Yes, that's the place, but I will move around and make it an active role and mission to reach the people. Yeah, reach the people and to bring the service to them. So yeah, I'm actually moving. I'm like a living vessel just moving around. I'm just moving. Right now, but in a time I'm seeking that space and stability where I can be able to operate in the town and bring the service to our people in a greater way. So therefore, you don't miss me at any time. There's always medicine there. There's always something there for you, and one's there that you can always bring your questions, whatever you have, you know, to ailment, whatever. You can bring your questions and your problems, and someone will be there if I'm not there to take everything, and we will work with each other. Continue.
Where are other places that people could access your medicine in town?
Okay,
You have any runners on the road?
yes, sir. Well, I actually have two sister-in, one that sells on the home center. She's been there for a while. And another sister-in, another outlet in the market itself. There's another sister-in there that can sell the products as well.
The same building, market up street?
Yes, please. Right across from Secret Grave, the same market there. Uptown
Okay.
Market. Another sister in there. Her name is Anne-Marie, and she's happy to sell the products and have them there on her table. And usually the people will find her, and she will be able to sometimes call me, direct them to me as well. So yeah.
Beautiful. Do you still have control of that stall you spoke about?
Well, to some extent, but the other day I ran into some problems with the system.
Well,
I
that is
yeah,
what I'm referring to. Give us
right.
just a brief account of what happened there.
Okay, well, as I was saying, from time to time I would operate there. You know, there's some rules that they have there around the market that if you're there and you're not utilizing the table, the top twice or three times a week, then they will probably take it away, something like that. There's some kind of vibes around it that I don't dwell with as a natural, original, sovereign woman in the land. I don't dwell with certain things. So based on the oppression that see that was taking place with the many other women there and myself, I tend to just I stopped myself in the sense that they said that I had a little fee because I wasn't really meeting whatever payments from time to time. I was paying. I was before I took the sovereign stand, and after that I decided that I'm gonna be doing it in a different way. Using the fiat, but rather use my energy, my credit cards, and be able to do that. But there was a little bit of hold up. So it's still a little hold up for the time. But we will get into that more, that knowledge will be out there for the people in time. But yeah, definitely utilize the energy because I'm here to heal the people. I'm here to heal the people. Healing the people is not giving the people them just and giving them something. I work with the people to keep the people strong. I give them energy, good energy and good vibes and words of truth and light so they can stand and be happy still to go and do whatever duty they have to uphold this land. So this is beyond just me doing business as I am. I know, as I said, that I am. I do my work from a genuine place, trusting in the ancestors to heal our people, each and every one, and bring them to good health. And I'm on a mission, and I will not stop to enlighten our people, sending the energies for each and every heart to be connected in this time because it's necessary. Let us go forward to the times when we know grandma would pull some bush because we never know about any other way. And they didn't know. They said they didn't have certain things that we have available to us. And they depended on ancient knowledge as well. So, though we modernize, we still remember and hold to the anciency as well. For that is what will keep us. So, definitely, the little problem there at that place, I still hold to the star because I didn't give it up. We work it out in a time. But for now, as I said, I will still go to the market, I'll still be there, still utilize because, the land, as I said, we under our land and we could be anywhere we want to be once we're not causing trouble. It's public space, in no violation. We're not here to harm anyone at all, but to share love amongst each and everyone. I mean, everyone on the land. It's just love and good vibration and positive vibes, hopefulness, truth, light. And that is what we're going to
Yes, you you are stepping into the light. And
do.
listeners, stepping is a form of dance, spiritual dance from inside. Stepping, right? Learn that dance, stepping. When you don't step in, and you step it in the light, no evil could touch you.
Not
Now, I want to thank you on behalf of the radio stations, everybody, my audience, and myself, right? But before you go, I want to give you this information and the public. This is official information, and this is something that we should be teaching our children. We shouldn't even wait for schools. I have been saying it on this program. That is why you see, when they ask me in the road, Bishi, I here. I say, because I listen to the wrong radio stations. You have to listen to Behil Radio. Behil Radio give you the most facts as a radio. Anyhow, you check it out. And people, don't forget to support Behil Radio if you have any kind of promotion or whatever. Wedding, anniversary, church service, funeral, anything at all, news. And anytime anything happen out there in the neighborhood, in any community, everybody has a cell phone, link it to Behil Radio one time, okay? So they could get the news first hand, first minute, first second. Anyway, Professor Henry of the University of the Technical Institute in Jamaica, one of the leading scientists in the region, health-wise, he put out some information a few years ago. St. Vincent and the Grenadines country, Urume, was one of the countries studied at the end of 2019, and in 2020 this information come out. 47% of our total annual food imports is processed food. 47%. And in terms of value at that time, annually it was worth $135,360,000. And 17% of the total was over-processed food. And he called it, in his own terminology and phrasing, he said it was health retarding food. In a good. Should have never come in our country.
True.
And that value at the year, 17% of our imports of that year came to $48,960,000. So you see where the inflammation and all these things coming from? You see what I have to fight against? This deliberate importation and consumption of health retarding foods.
That's right.
That's a barrier I have to get over from different perspectives.
Yeah.
And means that our people have to now replace that food by producing local clean food right here.
That's right. Definitely.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, yes, we have the capacity to do that. And I'm going to address some of that in the second half of the program when we come forward. Right? But I really want to say I mean, it's just what the I said, just super. I can't put any more to that, you know? Just heretical, just right there. So the song I chose to play in honor of you being here tonight, and I being here tonight, is a Bob Marley song. And a lot of people don't overs where the brother coming from yet when he say these things, including the majority of Rastafari. But for those who over, big up. For those who ain't over yet, still big up. Listen to it, and I go explain when I come forward what it is. So, my brethren, Natty Dread, Natty Dread, bring it forward. Yes, I and I going to have things our way. Yes, my sister, and thank you very much as we go to the station for a station ID to get some more for our sponsors. And when we come forward, continue stepping into the light. Rastafari.
Boost your brand's visibility with Branding by Weeks. At Branding by Weeks, we are passionate about helping brands gain exposure and make a significant impact. Let us elevate your brand's visibility and reach new heights. Connect with us today by email at spweeks@hotmail.com or message us on WhatsApp 613-866-8939.
Hi friends, what's happening in your corner? Be it a group meeting, a sporting activity, a community activity, some upcoming event, whatever's happening in your corner, let us know. We'll share it on Kankadi Radio. So email us at kankadi.radio@gmail.com. That's CANCARDI.radio@gmail.com. We are in your corner.
Island Size Souvenir and Clothing Store. We carry everything you need in souvenirs. T-shirts in all different sizes. Cap, keychains, key rings, plaques and banners, magnets, ID holders, mugs, and we even carry St. Vincent flag. And that's not all. We carry Hawaiian style t-shirts and dresses, handbags with matching scarves. We also carry tie-dye dresses, shirts and tops. Everything in our store are made right here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So come on over and check us out. We are located at the cruise ship berth in Kingstown, Island Style.
It's the Vin Abbott Show with news, views, and interviews. The music in the mix on Saturdays, 4 p.m. Kankadi Radio.
Join your host, Rasta Bishi, for Stepping into the Light at Bihill Online Radio and Kankadi Radio. Rasta Bishi steps into the light of food and agriculture, culture and liberty. Stepping into the light lifts the level of your self-consciousness, activates your collective security genetic code, raises your earthly vibrations. To win in this Armageddon, you must listen to Stepping into the Light with host Rasta Bishi.
Yes, my people. Yes, my people. Now, we're going to go into the biodynamic gardening or planting moon phase by the moon phase guide for the period Wednesday, 2nd October to Tuesday, 8th October 2024. Okay? Now, tomorrow is Wednesday, 2nd October, and tomorrow is new moon. Get in a little squeak, please. See what you can do over that. Tomorrow is a new moon. And what is recommended during the new moon? Excellent, excellent. It's a time to rest from setting seed, and a lot of people also rest from doing anything on the farm, most people, from a spiritual perspective, to celebrate and to meditate. And I am making a suggestion here that when I look at our farming sector, exact right through the country, we are not organized to the level in the communities by commodity or by geographical space or whatever to meet as a farming community any specific given time of the month or week to reason together. And I'm suggesting here that we take the new moon and the full moon as days. Doesn't have to be every new moon and every full moon. If it's so, it's good. But those are the days when farmers in the same community who face the same problems, similar problems, should meet together and reason together, work together and find solutions, collective solutions to the pollution they face. Okay? That's a suggestion I'm making here tonight. But individually from the new moon, it's time that we should look at what you've been doing and plan for the next day going forward in that phase. And give thanks. Celebrate and meditate. Because meditate is a mental way, is work too, It's not just physical work, it's mental and spiritual work. It's where you get to see where you're going properly, how you're going properly. And once you do that and one hand can't clap, you would know that you have to go with other hands. Okay? To make that harmony and get that balance you need going forward. So tomorrow, Wednesday, 2nd October, if you could just, wherever you are in your community, meet with, even if your neighbor or somebody in terms of whether you have in a small garden, just a couple plants here, or you have whatever size your farm is, a backyard garden or a commercial farm, find some time of the day to go and reason with that person and group it together until you get to a sizable grouping where you can command other people to come and speak to you about what you're doing and see how you can move forward as a part of the business. Because every mouth has to be fed. And you just saw the importance of clean food. You couldn't hear it better than that. The importance of clean food and medicine from the earth. Because where we are right now as a country, we are a very sick people. Very sick. And the health facilities they have, some of them are even sicker than the people. The first health facility you have to have is yourself at home. Keep your goodie clean. It's a discipline you have to build up over time. right? As best as possible. And to do that, you have to have good food to put in it, whether you're growing it yourself or you're eating it from somewhere else. So this is why I give this guide, so that whether you are planting it or whether you're buying it from someone else who's planting it, it's planted with the same guidance. So when it comes, it has the right vibration for you to consume, to eat. And you get that real energy, and you go forward from there. So on Thursday, we into the phase now which we call the waxing crescent. Because today, as the old people say, today is rest moon, as the old talk, right? It means that the moon resting, and it will rise tomorrow, which is the new moon. And that is exactly what would happen. The moon will rise tomorrow at about a few minutes to 7 p.m. Right? You will see, look clear, and you will see that new moon. Okay? Yeah, so it will be waxing. It's just start to wax. And it will be in crescent form. So waxing crescent starts from Thursday. And that whole week going up, what is best recommended from a biodynamic perspective? And remember I said, in times gone, I will see, you can plant a seed anytime and it will germinate, but it would not have the same vibration as if it is planted in the right phase of the moon. It wouldn't carry the same life force. It wouldn't have the same resistance to pests and diseases and sicknesses as if it was planted in the right time of the moon. Right? It would not give the same energy to you when you consume it, but it will germinate. So this time is above the ground plants, annual short crops, right? Especially leaf crops, leaf plants. Things where the leaf, plants that don't bear fruit, where the leaf is the part that you consume. Whether you cook it, you eat it, you extract medicine from it or whatever it is, right? So you know. And this include all the leafy vegetables. Lettuce, cabbage, cauliflower, broccoli, kale, all these things. Spinach, all these are leaf crops. Okay? But it also is good for corn. From tomorrow you can plant your corn. And if you're planting corn, make sure it's a non-genetically modified corn. And a corn where you could plant the seeds from that crop to the next crop, like our ancestors used to do, by keeping a few of the better airs. So you keep your genetic material going forward all the time. Right? It's also good time to plant herbs. Your seasoning, your basil, your thyme, your whatever, all these different herbs. Okay? And of course, your celery, parsley, all these things. This is the time to set these seeds. This is the best time of the moon phase to set these seeds. You know, you have some seeds that take a long time to germinate. Parsley is one of them. Celery also. This week is the best week to set these seeds. And make sure you check out your planting medium and get it proper. Those of you who have experience, pass on some of that experience to your neighbor who don't have the experience to make a good seed bed so that the seeds germinate. Okay? Cucumbers do well when planted, do excellent when it's planted in this phase of the moon. Cucumbers. And again, I would recommend that if you're planting cucumbers now, plant them so that they could run on a trellis. Don't leave all of them to touch the ground because they would rot. A lot of them would rot where they touch the ground. Okay, you will get more if you have them on a trellis. And this is one of the techniques we have to use going forward. So that you could maximize and optimize your harvest yield. Right. It's also a good time to mow lawns and to graft and prune. Right? So those are the major activities to be carried out during this phase of the waxing crescent where the moon is getting bigger. It will come new tomorrow and she'll start growing in the week, right up until sometime next week. It gets to the first quarter. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Okay? Now in terms of if you want to do any real planting of certain types of crops in this same phase, well, most of the week is lovely for leaf crop, especially Tuesday, Monday, and Sunday, the 6th, the 7th, and the 8th. All these days are good, but those particular days are good for the leaf, even excellent, because apart from having the right phase, they also have the right moon sign, right? But the whole week, plant something, please, even though you have to, for those who are planting, plant 3-4 holes of, 4-5 seeds of celery or parsley by a quarter ounce or whatever it is. This is the time to start putting in your own greens for the season coming up. This is also the season which the temperatures starting to drop a little. They were very hot up to yesterday, right? But now you're entering a different phase. You're going to really start feeling the autumn temperature just now. Because we are into autumn now for over a week. And we're getting into this thing. And they're going to come cooler and cooler. The sunlight hours are going to get less and less until you reach right up to December, where you have the vernal equinox. The winter equinox, okay? Winter solstice. Okay? And that's going to be just before what we call Christmas. A couple of days before. So it's going to go cool up to that time. And into this cool season, when we're going down into the winter, we're going to start from there. It's going to get cooler still, right down into February, which is normally like the coolest month around here. January, February, March. So in this time of the year, there are certain crops that grow well. And with the rising cost of vegetables and imported food in the market, coupled with the lack of consumption, personal consumption of green vegetables, not many people in St. Miss need the amount of green vegetables that is supposed to eat to be healthy. According to the official report, is about 35%. Okay? So in order to get that and to make sure you can afford what you eat, you have to grow something. This is a good time for those vegetables. Certain vegetables that only grow the best at this time of the year. Cauliflower, broccoli, those two for sure. Love cool weather. So make sure you get some of that seed, or if you can't set it yourself, you get the seed and you give somebody who could set it. So you know by the time they harden, you're ready to transplant before the month done. And you have things going down in the season. Make the best of the season. So that is the biodynamic planting guide planted by the moon phase. The same thing with the herbs. You heard what Itrishan said about getting clean herbs to make clean medicine. This is the time to start planting your herbs. And of course, when you're planting, you do it organically. We're not recommending on this program any other way to grow anything. So, let me just explain a little bit about that tune that Bob sang there just now, in terms of the message in the tune. Bob is singing from inside the heart, right? So when he says dread, natty dread locks, he's not just speaking about the locks itself, he's speaking about the dreadness, the resistance you have inside to the Babylon system, to the evil system. And it's not a resistance of what you would call one that you emotions. It's a resistance from knowledge. You don't get emotive and let you carried away by that. You put mind over matter, as we say when we start this thing. Okay? But it shows you that your inside, your real inside, is against any foolishness, what you're doing. That is when you say dread. You say dread about these things. Not angry. but aware. And that is the only way you could find a solution to the pollution. Because if you're angry, you wouldn't find it. Your vibration gone somewhere else. Right. So when he says he step up to 4th Street, not the dreadlocks, he meet some dreadlock. 4th Street is a mental level. It's an awareness level. It's not a physical thing like a street like in Kingston or wherever you say, well, I go in back street, I go in this street, I go in middle. No. That is just a plane. If you think it's that he's speaking about, you ain't reach anywhere. You're just on a plane. The street he's talking about is levels in your overstanding, your mental frame, your spiritual frame. Reach up to 4th Street, you see some dread there. Tread up to 2nd Street, you see some dread there. Tread up to 3rd Street, some dread there. Natty dread on 4th Street. And that is where most dread there right now. Not speaking derogatory. Most people there, the 4th Street, they move from there. Because moving from there is a self-knowledge thing. You have to know yourself to move from there. If you don't know yourself, you can't move from there. You get stuck. You get stuck in the mystery of Babylon. And that is why a lot of people are still consuming these foods that causing all these non-communicable diseases and not being aware of what causing them. Because it's still in 4th Street. Okay? It's still in 4th Street. You have to come over. You have to get there. You have to move from there. But moving from there is something that you have to go in your inside and suss it out and know that, no, what I doing here is wrong. I have to get to the root of this thing. I have to move from that and reach there. Because in this time, it's only the fittest of the fittest of the fittest shall survive. And anytime you're not eating healthy food, you can't think healthy. And if you're not thinking healthy, you can't act healthy. Because everything gone wrong from the start. And that is the problem we have in this country. That we get soft to the system and you can't resist it because the food you're eating is not the dread food. It's not Congo Bongo food. It's not food that help you to resist the foolishness. It's food that help you to get so weak that you get carried away by the belief system. And that is where we are. Disorganized and individualistic and the whole country in bush. And the bush is not being used, not even by animals who love bush. Because I went to Chateaubriand from Kingston, from Camden Park on Saturday afternoon. And driving from Chateaubriand to Camden Park. We only met the first animal we met that was grazing was in Delisle. And we meet grass the whole time going through. Whole time. And if grass and vine like joke. Yeah, when I was growing up, there was so many people grazing and so many animals grazing all over the place. By the roadside and in the land and so on. Or people cutting grass and so. Now we have so much grass and no animals. And no food and so many people. That is why we are sick. Because not even the grass in the land we're making use of. Okay? So, we have to move from 4th Street because we got to reach 7th Street. Got to reach 7th Street. And Bob says he meets some dread on 5th Street and he hop a fence to 6th Street. Because even on 5th Street, they wasn't ready to do what is necessary to be done. So he hop a fence. And there's only few people on 6th Street right now. But we got to reach 7th Street. And when you reach 7th Street, you don't have the problem with the system again because you reach to a level now, collectively, where the system has to expect and respect what you're doing and do what they're supposed to do. Right? So that is where we're going. You got to reach 7th Street. If we don't reach it, we're in trouble. Real trouble. No lingering. Okay? So in terms of the fast, the food and agriculture systems transformation, not reformation, transformation. And explain what I mean by that last program. Change, transform. Move from shape and function to a different shape and function to make things good. We, the people, collectively have to do it, both individually and collectively. Individually, we have to build up our skills to be able to do it, and then collectively, you have to come together and put it together and find the harmony and make it happen. It's not going to happen any other way. Not going to happen any other way. So, in terms of what the sister was saying, the system, the first transformation has to be taken, like one of these transformations that to take place is in the administration of the facilities that house people like her when she come to the market. And I love the way how she dealt with it. No rowdy, nothing. Just show them the facts. Because truth, you can't break down truth. And light, when you see the light, you just have to humble it and bow to it. Okay? And that is what you have to do. No confrontation. Just reasoning with you and showing you the rights and demanding our rights and giving you, respecting your rights and demanding our rights and demanding our justice. Someone as important as our guest, should always, without hesitation, be guaranteed a space in our market. Because why? People like them are hard to find, they're chosen, and they are doing a work which is necessary, healing the people of the nation. Sickness. And if you don't provide, if the system does not provide for the adequate housing of somebody like that, it means that the system is fighting to make sure that this nation the people remain sick. That's it. That is it. There's no other way. No other way. And if you want to find yourself in that grouping, in that pool, that's you. Because in this time, and I have no fear, we know this time is karma time. And anyone who in this Armageddon fights on that side, you're going to be defeated. Definitely. No two ways about that. It's not about gun and bullet and thing. This is higher vibration than that. So anytime you're in a system which oppresses the people, from that perspective, you're going to fall. Sure. That's a guarantee. And you're going to fall fast and hard in this time. Never mind who or what you are. You're going to fall fast. Because this is the time that we have to heal the people. Heal the nation. Everything. So we are transforming that part of the system. We are transforming it, and the transforming it must involve the decision making and the reasoning of the people who are affected in this way. It cannot be a top-down thing from any government to say, no, this is that and that and that, and we collect it. No. And when you really suss it out, half of what you're collecting makes no sense, and a big other part of it is oppressive and unlawful. Not legal, unlawful, because you could make all the legal things you want. That don't make them right. That does not make them right. It's the law we're dealing with. The fifth law, the fifth principle of life, law. That's what we're dealing with. Our ancestors made that so, in direct communication with the almighty creators. No intermittent being there. It's them and the creators. 7 basic principles. So we're dealing with that. They have nothing else before it and nothing else above them. 7 basic principles. That is how we're dealing with it. Right now, we're also transforming, and this was exemplified again and amplified on Saturday. You will hear more about that when we have our next very interesting guest coming up next week. On Saturday, we met with some farmers in the North Leeward, and like farmers in St. Vincent in other places, they are realizing that the way they've been going for the last 60, 70 years, especially during the reign of the banana regime and so on, where chemicals was flooding the place, and we didn't know it was a deliberate flood, is not the way. So they now have to heal the soil in order to heal themselves, to get good food. And that is not just coming from them, it's coming from the market inside. The people who consume the food, especially people outside, are demanding organic foods. So we have to transform our production system, and in doing that we have to transform the way our farmers think and act and do things, because they are the major producers. And how they work together, they have to work together more collectively and organized from the community and from the commodity stage right up, right? And use all the modern technologies and gadgets to communicate. You see, communication, I have to spend a whole program on communication, because I have proven over the last several years that the weakest thing for our people right now, all our people, is communication. We have to master that. We have to get to 7th Street in communication. Lots of people, even professional people, communication. And if we don't communicate properly and don't master it and mistress it and know to over it in a whole way, we're not going to be competitive. We're not going to be the fittest of the fittest. Their business would always outpower us because they communicate. They master that. We have to master communication. We take too many things for granted. You don't take things for granted in this time. You suss it out and you make sure. As the old people say, make sure always better than cock sure. And that's a fact. So that is what we have to do. Any day we could strengthen our communication from the home level to the community level to the business level, the grouping level, to the national level, we will rise so fast as a people that it will surprise most. And we will come into the light quick. Never to go back in the darkness again. Communication. We have to spend a whole program on that. So that is one area we have to work on. In terms of the inputs, and this gets me to what is happening right now. Because as we speaking, what we're doing is implementing FAST. As I said, we're not waiting on the system to do it, because the system had to say that. It just had to come out of them. But they don't really mean it in that way. They figure that most people stupid and they're not listening. And that they could just come and instead of reform the system, the old system. Like you paint over something and say, look at it, no, we changing structure, we're not painting over nothing. We getting a new toy or a new gadget for Christmas, as they say. Put it in that phrase. Oh, but we're not using the same old thing and just paint it over. No. We're transforming it, we're changing it up totally. That is the only way it will work. Because it is rotten to the core, and if we just cover the core with a shade or two of paint, it's still rotten. It's just that you keep the paint shielding the rot. So we get into the heart of the system and changing it. Right? The voucher system is a great system, but the voucher has to cover the real needs. When you say the voucher, where you carrying the voucher? Where you taking the voucher to collect the items? First of all, it should not be just one plant. It should include a range of people, especially people in the private sector. For several reasons. Because you want these people to be able to start to think in a different way. That's why I say the inputs themselves have to change. Right? And you want to make sure that you have sufficient quantity for the farmers out there. Right now, no one facility has the capacity to satisfy the desire of the farming sector. We see it up to this week and last week where the input shed has run out of certain implements because your inventory doesn't cover for everybody. So spread it out. And the more you spread it out, it's better because it's Vinci who owns most of these facilities. Spread it out means you're expanding the economic base and the active economic base. And by doing that, you're creating and generating more income and more economic activity. And that could only be a good thing for the country. Secondly is the inputs, the type of inputs. We should not be going forward in this time where we say we're transforming by allowing farmers to access the same old inputs that kept us down and back and made our food quality so poor in the last 50, 60 years. That means to say, first of all, the people who choose the inputs must be people who know about inputs, not people who know about politics. And I ain't saying this word with no lightness. Let the people with the technical knowledge advise on the inputs to be brought here. Not the politician deciding that he or she go out there and they meet so much of this and they bring. No. We're transforming that. We're dealing with real science. We're dealing with the sciences of healing. We are the signatory. Our country is the signatory to all sorts of treaties concerning climate change and sustainable development. You hear them talking about the goal, sustainable development goals of the United Nations in this year, where we will get by 2030 and all this thing, and cutting the carbon dioxide emissions. These are the things that the ordinary youth who lie on the block should know and have an understanding of them, and even the common person in the household and the community, to know how these things relate to food and agriculture. So when you're saying that, and you are still feeding the farmers with inputs which go contrary to what you're saying, which put in more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, which feed in the climate change that you're trying to stop, that you say you're trying to stop, which is killing, instead of healing the soil, which is killing the biology of the soil, then what are you saying? You're talking one thing from one side of your mouth and the next thing from the next side. That ain't gonna work. So we transforming that. In the days when the British and the French and the Spanish fought for these lands, nobody was putting these chemicals into the lands, and that is why they saw the level of fertility of the soils. That's why they fight. Because at that time the soil was so fertile, even a stone could grow. But by poisoning our soils deliberately by the makers of the people out there who make these things to have us on their value chain, so that, yes, the food will grow. You add such and such to whatever it is, whether it's banana or sweet potato or yam or whatever. It will grow in size, but it will have empty calories. It does not have the life force in it. And that is why it's spoiled quick. You ever notice that the sweetest breadfruit in St. Vincent is one that grows somewhere in the bush where nobody using chemicals? Or even the sweetest avocado? Or the sweetest yam? They have nothing sweeter than them because they grow from the right carbon-filled nutrients in the soil and in the atmosphere. So we transform in the system, and right now, like the farmers in Bardi on Saturday, all of them agreed that that is where they're going to go. And this is only a small dot. We just start. I am sure that most farmers in the country now realize that that's where they have to go. If you want to produce quality food, and if you want to be competitive, and if you want to make money, because the people who are looking for help in the market now, overseas, regionally, far overseas, and right here, are the people who are calling for this kind of food. So this kind of food is what you have to produce. And to produce this kind of food, you need certain basic inputs. You need a certain mentality, and you need to work together. Once you have that, we get the tools necessary We get the genetic material necessary. We organize the production marketing system. We get the funding necessary and we put it together and everybody wins. Everybody wins. So when you do that now, and the sister in our guest come now and she say she did, you go by a farm and she say she did this amount of guinea pepper, that amount of this, that amount of that to make some medicine. She's getting medicine, she's getting that information, that input, those plants from a clean farm. And when she add them to the other things that she spoke about, which we don't have here, but which we should import because they're necessary, and she make the medicine, it's a healer. It's right there. So that we are breaking the back of the largest oppressive industry in Babylon, the pharmaceutical industry and the food industry, breaking the back of them twice, one time, freeing ourselves. We have to free our people. If we don't free our people, if we don't get to 7th Street, we're in trouble. Got to reach 7th Street. Yeah, that's what we got to reach. We got to reach 7th Street. The only way to reach me is to heal ourselves mentally, heal the earth heal, bring the food to heal us, and then we start to act, think, see differently. And that is it. That is where we have to go. Other than that, we're just wasting time. We're just wasting time. Yes. So, while I say the system which is being used with the voucher is good, it's good, so that farmers can get some inputs, necessary farmers can get some inputs and hopefully get the right inputs to put into this land so that we could not just produce what we were producing, but increase our production and increase our productivity. The inputs would increase our production and to a little bit our input should increase our productivity. But increasing the productivity goes much further than that. Because in this country, access to a lot of the lands, motorable access and proper access even by foot is not possible. It's taken our farmers too long to get to where their land is and too much toll physically because where the land is and the lack of infrastructure, roads, we put it as simple as that. And even in the absence of roads, we haven't got to the level of the technology which is available for us to have cable cars to bring it out, or even further than that, drones, which could lift. You have drones now that could lift a couple tons at a time. And what a better way to go than to train our youths, who some of them 5, 6 years old, and you're not better than them on a cell phone, you know. You're not better than them on electronics, so they could learn how to handle these drones electronically from right home. That's another gift they have. So we're expanding the whole working area in agriculture, where someone could have 2 tons of food up in the mountain to move. But the road isn't there. And they have to move it, say, a mile or a mile and a half if they have to bring it by foot. Of treacherous road. But a drone could lift it up and bring it to where the transport is in a couple of minutes. This is the technology we have to go to. And who will be operating that? The youths. Because they are real savvy to this technology. As a matter of time, after a while, they will be able to create their own system. But we have to give them the chance. So we increase in our production and we increase in our productivity. Production means acreage, physical acreage, more acres, and also higher yields per acre than the productivity. So if something could give 12,000 pounds an acre, let's say sweet potatoes will give 12,000 pounds an acre minimum, and farmers only getting 6 and 7 now, it means that you're only producing at 50% of efficiency. So we want to get there, right? And at the same time, when you're producing that now, the nutrient density of the potato would be at least twice, could be as much as twice as what it is now. So you will be able to eat less potato and get the same satisfaction you get now, more energy out of it. You don't have to eat 4 and 5 potato to feel good. Because the nutrient density is higher. You get more energy and more vibration from the food. And so we could now take a lot of our foods now and make our snack foods from them, our packaged foods, instead of importing all these things in this fancy plastic, where the plastic have more value than the food inside. Sometimes better eat the plastic than the food inside. I'm telling you, we have a lot to learn, a lot to do, and a lot to gain. But we have to be sensible about it. And we have to get our justice to get where we want. So how do we get our justice? Now, we have been here as indigenous people, lots of us, and some of us have been here, indigenous people who brought themselves here, and some of them here, some of us here are indigenous people who were forced to be here from other countries, including mainland Africa, to work where our ancestors worked, that set of ancestors worked hard, like being a property, like how people have a vehicle and want to say, well, this vehicle ain't gonna last me 5 years, and I gotta buy a new one. That is how they looked at our people. 5 years, hard grind on the estate, growing whatever crop they had to grow. No money. And when you get too weak to work, they just replace you. But we have been here through all those times by the grace and blessing of the Almighty and by our own inner strength. And even those of us who are ancestors who are not into that system were relegated to an area where we could not really take part in the massive economy. But now we crossed that bridge and we are here now, right in the face, and there's nothing they could do about it. So we are demanding our rights and justice, equal rights and justice according to what Touch says. And this is more than reparations. This is reformation, right? And this is transformation. We're transforming the system. So we are going to start and already group ourselves together, finding out the commonalities among us, what we need. Once we get that and we get to a critical mass level, we put that in writing, because the pen is still mightier than the sword. We put it in writing, we put the context there, and we send it to the same organizations which themselves need reforming, as the Emperor and the Empress always told us that the United Nations must constantly reform to fit the needs of the people in a just way. So just like how you hear this country or any other country, this corporation, this cooperative state, getting a grant from this to do this and a grant from do that, we the people have to start getting these things. Because when you look at it, an important small business, like what our guest was speaking about, she shouldn't have to be waiting to know where she could go to with her right documents and get funding to expand her business without having any headache and any hiccups and so on. Anytime you're hindering those things, you're not for development. They should be automatic, serious. But we know the system is not serious. The system is really a fraud. So that is why we're transforming to a system which is not a fraud, but a system which gives people their justice. And in particular, our indigenous people. We have to claim our indigenous rights as a people. And it's taking place now because this is the hot Armageddon taking place. So who don't want to go there? We're not forcing you, but we know that the powers that be making sure that you go there. Whether you're willing, yes to or not. So the quicker you go there is the better for you. The quicker you go there is the better for you. Now, you see that song, you see that song you hear in there? For those who might know the history, that song has a bit of rebelliousness into it, but we still not walking the walk. We just talking the talk. That is in memory of a guy who they call Guy Fawkes in British history, who was hired to blow up Parliament in Britain at a time because they figured the people in the Parliament were talking foolishness. Unfortunately, he got caught. I'm just paraphrasing the whole thing, bring it short. And that song you hear there is where, I don't know how many other countries do it, but this country has held on to it tight. For what reason, I don't know. Around this time of the year to celebrate what they call Guy Fawkes. It will go right up until early in November. I think it's the 5th of November. Right? By making that song. He was using dynamite in this time. Our people now are using bamboo with kerosene oil and so on and doing the thing. Now what I'm saying is that while we have been celebrating that, to what end are we celebrating it? Because not like our people are really, the same people who do it are really in any way fighting against this system. No. Some of them don't care too much about the system. They all get up in some cases. This oppressive system. So we have to know what we are allowing our youths to adopt and not wasting their time and energies with things that don't make sense. That thing that don't make sense. In this day, we have to, time is of the essence. We have to train our people. One of the things I find out going out there is that we have to train and retrain our people in certain things to get moving. One of the few things I learned properly from that meeting on Saturday, I've seen it, I've sussed it out already, but I've seen it in action, is that any agricultural community you go into right now, the majority of people are elder people. Yes, you have some youths who coming into agriculture, and that's good, who are into agriculture, and that's good. They have some youths who have been disappointed because they have been sent to train in different places, and in the last 10, 15 years in Cuba in particular, and they come out and they have come back and hardly found any sensible employment. They have to fit in here and fit in there, and the better ones, the luckier ones have gone into farming with their own families and so on. But in terms of administration of the community, the agricultural activity in the community, there is nothing out there. In terms of organization, in terms of centralization. And we know that our better teachers, like Marcus Messiah Garvey, have always pointed to organize and centralize. That is how he was able to get the Black Starliner going. Now we're trying to raise a Starliner, or we should be raising Starliners. We have to train people in organization, it's not just production alone. Because even the production and the marketing has to be organized. So there's a big vacuum out there for young people to be trained at the community level, to have groupings at the community level, to represent the organization of people in the agricultural sector and the food sector. And when you do that, the industry they're talking about, like the one our guest was speaking about now, she wouldn't have to worry where she getting local stuff from, because that information out there would be there, what this organized group are doing, and she could link with them and give them specific things to produce for her on a business level, and know that she has a constant flow a constant supply of inputs coming to meet the medicine and the things demand that she has to put out there. That is the kind of level. That is the 7th Street that Natty talking about. We got to reach 7th Street. Can't be lingering in 4th Street and 5th Street and hoping that we're going to do good. We're going to still be seeing poverty and suffering. So we have to move and move fast. Yes, we have to move and move fast. And before this program ends, I'm going to call for that song again. Yeah, I'm calling for it right now because we got to reach 7th Street. There's no way we could get where we want to get by lingering in 3rd Street and 4th Street and even 5th Street. Right? So let us put our focus on working together, the people. Let us put our focus, and even including that working together, it means supporting stations like Bihil and Kankadi and Fun City. Because these are the stations that put the message out there to the people in the right way right now. Okay? So, I want to tell you, make sure you get something leafy in the ground this week. Right? If you don't have the seeds, go and out and get. It's good to set seeds. It's an excellent week to set seeds. Go out and get somebody who has a nursery, book them by someone, so that when they're ready to transplant, you have them to transplant and you have a little garden set up for your winter garden. Getting food going on in this season. You can't afford to leave yourself to go to the supermarket, a little train in here. That little head of celery in the corner, there's $12. Go forward. Yes, Natty Dreadlocks, come through. Yes, just reminding all farmers who have vouchers to go out there and take things which are organic, take things which will not hamper the biological life of the soil, and get seeds which are not genetically modified, and plant as much as you can. As much as you can, because we have mouths to feed, including yours. So until next time, as usual, I make an exodus. Until next week.